what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. Want to cover everything Philadelphia. If you know, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I want to talk about us when it comes to free agency. Um, a lot's going on, but let's kind of start at the start and kind of talk about what we're kind of working with right now. So right now I looked at it when it comes to NFL salary cap, uh, how much space we're actually working with. Right now, the space we're working with is kind of tight. We have about 8 million, almost 9 million in space, in cap space. I think that what we're going to see is some moves that some guys that we don't want to see leave. For example, Marcus Epps signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, the Andre Dillard, he's signed with the tight ends who was with us. It was a 3-year deal worth 29 million. Javon Hargrave signing with the 49ers, 4-year deal worth 84 million. We got Kelsey back, right? Of course, that's a big thing for us. I think the most important thing for us is signing our veteran leaders on defense and offense. Having a guy like Brandon Graham coming back, having a guy like Jason Kelsey come back means a lot. We lost T.J. Edwards. I think there's a lot of faith in the Kobe Dean and what he brings there. Maybe Hassan Reddick putting him back in coverage a little bit more instead of just rushing the passer. So I think there may be some things as far as Howie Roseman talking with the coaches, saying, "Hey, look, how do you envision this team, this defense to work?" But we still have a lot of free agents out there, right? So right now, who do we have leaving? We have T.J. Edwards, Javon Hargrave, Andre Dillard, and Marcus Epps. Marcus Epps, I think that we looked at him and said, you know what, if we can have Blankenship kind of go into that role or have CJ into that role, because there's a huge push to get CJ back. That'll be a big thing. Of course, Bradbury, I think there's a nucleus of secondary they want to bring back. But who do we have right there right now that's unsigned that are free agents? We have CJ Gardner-Johnson, James Bradbury, Miles Sanders, Fletcher Cox, Isaac Siamalo, Kazir White, Gardner Minshew, Boston Scott, Zach Pascal, Linval Joseph, Sue, Robert Quinn, and Brett Kern. We're not gonna get all these guys. That's the big thing, and of course we got to pay Jalen Hurts. We got to give Jalen Hurts right now before something happens to him. So the thing is we got to pay Jalen Hurts. So we have to create cap space. Do we pay Jalen Hurts with money on the front end or back end depending on how his contract operates? We'll see. I don't think that we'll see something come. We can't just expect us to pay, Jalen Hurts all willingly right off the bat. There has to be some type. It's not easy as paying Daniel Jones with the Giants. When the Giants how much cap space they have, the Giants are working with Giants are working with 16 million in cap space, and their biggest thing is will they bring in a receiver and will they sign which they just signed Shepard, and will they sign resign Saquon Barkley. Now, who do I expect us to keep? That's tough, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Fletcher comes back. He's been an Eagle. He's the Eagle. He's the Eagle his whole career. Restructuring something from him. The conversations with Fletcher Cox is going to be, hey, look, we're not asking much of you. We want you to be here, but we want to pay you. And Fletcher Cox knows that he still has a lot left in his game, but he understands it's declining as well too. So I think that we do find a way to bring Fletch back. But the main thing is we're not expecting a lot out of him. Miles Sanders is tough. If you look on every draft board or every Eagles page, you see us saying, "Oh, let's draft Bijan Robinson. Let's get Jamar Gibbs." I do like Gibbs. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Bama guy. I like Jamar Gibbs, but I think having a guy in our system in our offense with that 1-2 punch with Kenneth Gainwell would be dope. I think they do well with each other. Now Jamar Gibbs, if I think that, him and Gainwell, that's a tough bunch. I like him. I mean, Bijan Robinson is a downhill runner. In between the tackles guy. Miles Sanders really isn't a between the tackles guy, and that's the biggest drawback that I have with him. So that'll be interesting to see. It mainly be around how much Miles Sanders, how much does he want? And with running backs in the NFL, they typically don't play running backs in the NFL. So I expect that conversation to be a little bit tense as far as us re-signing him. That's up in the air. I just want us to bring Bradbury and CJ back. If we bring Bradbury and CJ back, I'm going to be happy. I think Bradbury had a good year. He played well with Slay. He played well with that secondary. And if we bring CJ, Bradbury, and then have CJ go to that free safety role, and then Blankenship or even Avonte Max coming back playing that nickel or that strong role. I think we're good when it comes to secondary. Isaac Siamalo, he works so well with this offense. I don't. It all depends on how much he wants. Um, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't resign with us. Kazir White, Philly guy, I think we signed him as well too. Gar Mitchell, I think we signed him on a contract. Gar Mitchell may want to play somewhere else. That's a big thing. Then we look at the draft or we look at some free agents out there that kind of fit Jalen Hurts' skill set, like a guy like Tyrod Taylor that can come in and provide immediate support in this offense. Boston Scott, I think we signed him on a smaller contract. Zach Pascal, I was thinking, it all depends. Like I don't know with Zach Pascal because Zach Pascal on offense was mainly primarily a blocking weapon. I think that he goes somewhere else where he can be more of a pass catcher rather than the guy who blocks and just simply runs screens. So I don't see us resigning him. Linval and Sue, it depends on how much juice they feel they have left. If they like Philly, I think we resign both of them, but I think that will affect Fletcher's contract. They'll both will be 1-year deals because they feel that we're ready. A guy who I love that we really haven't talked about is Robert Quinn. I think Robert Quinn may be the best defensive end that we have on this team. I personally would love to bring Robert Quinn back. It all depends on he was coming off his best year when we signed him. This year he was coming off an injury and he didn't make as high as an impact as we thought because he wasn't 110%. But what does 110% Robert Quinn look like? So I going off who's unsigned, I think this is what we do. Of course, the main thing in the offseason would be restructuring Jalen Hurts or just re-signing Jalen Hurts, restructuring his contract, making him one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid quarterback in this league. So let's say Eagles roundup. Of course, I want to end it with us just being happy signing Kelsey and Brandon Graham back. These are our leaders on offense and defense, and that was a big move. I think he did justice to those guys, to the Philadelphia Eagles, and to the city. So we'll see what happens as more comes up with Philadelphia.